All right, no intros. You already know who we are. You already know what we're about. And we're going to be talking about...
Are you serious?
What?
Oscar told me he wanted to do the intro this episode. He said he's been cooking something up. He said he's been putting together something.
Yeah, I've been
cooking it up. And that was the intro. No intro.
No intro. Yeah. So if you could just yes and please tell the folks what we're going to be talking about this week.
You're going to tell me I'm not doing good improv shit when you skipped the whole whatever. So today we're going to be talking about our question of the day, which was submitted by Anonymous. Which was, what do y'all look for in a significant other?
Thank you, Anonymous, for submitting submitting to the form.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that Anonymous has submitted a lot of our questions.
Anonymous
He's really
is like one of our biggest fans.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
But yeah, it's a bit more of like a serious topic, you know, not super serious, but it's definitely different than what we had last time, which was like, you know,
pizza bagels.
Well, you were bringing up why it was funny that your cousin's dog died.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, I think that this topic is very important to a lot of people. You know, significant others and relationships and all that, and it's something that we haven't really talked about on the show. So I think it's a very interesting topic. But yeah, I'll start off with you, Nathan. What do you think?
So, honestly, dude, my what I look for is pretty like I'm not a picky guy. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm not super picky.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and you know, be picky about what I want in a person, but I do have a couple things.
Right.
All right. Number one, look, I'm just gonna get this one out the way. Okay. We're gonna get this one out the way. I'm 26. Okay. I'm a young male.
Yes.
I would like it if the person I am dating is physically attractive. I know that's crazy, and especially in 2023, I know. But that is something I would prefer.
Okay.
Now that aside, honestly, something that's really important for me is the other person's ability to communicate. And I don't mean
that's super important.
Yeah, I don't mean like their lexicon or like how good they are at speaking.
Right.
But like if like we're gonna encounter difficulties in the relationship, it's fucking inevitable. And I need to be able to like feel like I can just be open and like work 100%. Shit out.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me.
That's how most relationships end, is that there's no communication.
Or just like shitty communication.
Oh yeah.
And then I think another one for me is I like people who are like curious about the world, you know? Mm-hmm. Like they're just like interested in knowing and understanding how things work. That's like super attractive to me.
Right.
Inquisitive, I guess. And someone who's relatively like open-minded, I guess, you know, just not super closed-minded, you know, willing to try and experience new things. Outside of that, dude.
How far do you think that goes with being open-minded?
What do you mean?
Would you like somebody who like literally always pushed you to do things that you weren't comfortable with, or like
honestly
that were really outside of your comfort zone?
I mean, I would. I would, because most of the time when I do things that are outside of my comfort zone, I end up learning a lot and growing a lot from it.
Right.
So I would actually really appreciate it if the person I was with encouraged me and pushed me to do it. Obviously, you know, at an exhausting level, that's different, but
yeah,
I don't think that's what you're saying.
What I mean is, like, do you think that you would be happy with somebody who's not like you, or somebody that isn't like one of the people inside of your friend groups? That was just like totally different from I mean the rest of us. You know?
That's kind of refreshing. Mm-hmm. But I don't really care about that stuff. If I like the person, I like them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If they're different, they're just them, and that's cool. Like, I'm okay with that, you know?
Right.
And if there's friction, you know, in those differences, then I would hope to communicate through that and like figure that out.
Okay.
I've definitely dated people who were not like me, like down to the way I think. Like they organize themselves differently, and like their like routines are different. The way they solve problems different, and like it caused some friction, but we talked it out. You know, it was all right.
I see.
I just can't like, dude. I just can't be with someone who like isn't interested in learning shit. Period. Mm-hmm. You know, right. I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. There's something that it's like a dead end for me whenever that happens.
It's a turn off.
Yeah, it's just when they don't want to learn about anything, when they're just like, why would I need to know that? Who cares? You know, whatever. Yeah. It's like, well, fuck. I mean, all right. I guess that's that.
So that's what you're saying with like the whole curious bit. Like, they want to learn more about, you know, their surroundings and different things in the world.
Yeah, I'm not saying they got to be fucking Bill Nye, but you know, it'd be cool if I could talk to them. It'd be cool if I could talk to them and like they'd be interested in learning about things, and then they could teach me things. Yeah. You know. Oh, one last thing, and then I'll shut up and let you.
No. You're good. Keep going.
I really. This isn't like a requirement at all, but it's like a big plus. If I'm with someone who is, like pursuing becoming skilled in a particular thing, maybe for their career or whatever, that's really attractive to me. Someone who like is skilled in a particular craft, that's a big deal for me, because that's what I value for myself in my life is like being skilled at certain things. So I've always enjoyed it when the person I'm with is like, I don't know, I want them to be on their own career. I want them to be going somewhere, you know, and like going out and trying to like do what they can to make the most of their life and progressing. That makes me want to progress, you know? Right. That makes me be like, oh fuck, I need to get on my shit, you know? And that's good for me. I like relationships where like, so that's another important thing for me, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, is there any like,
Are there any, Oscar?
Are there any like turnoffs for you, like, or like non-starters?
Like big red flags.
Like red flags that is like, okay, well, no.
Honestly, like there are. I have a lot to learn about that because I'm not super experienced in the dating scene. So I'm learning shit as I go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, obviously if they talk about themselves nonstop, that's pretty unattractive to me. Mm-hmm. And it's also something where I'm like, I don't know, you know, this might not work out. Like nonstop, you know?
Right.
If they're arrogant, I'm sorry. Like,
okay.
There are some dudes who are into that. I can't. Like, it's
arrogant?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
I know. There's a lot of shit on the internet, my friend. But that's not for me. And I guess the last thing is like a girl that doesn't pursue any interests at all. That I just probably not going to work out.
I see. Okay. Well, that
makes
sense.
Then there's the obvious red flags of like if they've experienced any serious trauma and need psychological help. That's like a red flag you should consider. You know what I mean? Like right. Maybe they should go get some help and like get counseling and do that shit. Like anyone should when they experience that.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I'd say. What about you, man?
I mean, for me, I don't know. I have it's kind of weird for me because I don't have like a type or anything. I kind of go off of like vibe, if that makes any sense. If
like what it's like to be around them, or
yeah. If I enjoy spending time around them, like that's a big plus.
Sure.
Another thing is that if I can see a future, right? I'm like the kind of guy, I don't date just to date just for something to do. Like, I mean, I would like to. I feel like that's wasting time. And I know, like, I kind of wrestle with myself about this. Like, I know it's hard to like try to, you know, get it right the first time or whatever. But like, I just feel like, dude, if I'm like getting emotionally invested and like doing all this effort and work and like spending time, you know, like either meeting their family, friends and stuff like that, like, and like really getting to know this person only for it like to not work out in the end, I feel like that's like a lot of time that I could have been doing something else, you know?
I mean, it sounds like all you're saying is that you're dating for the purpose of a longer, more committed, serious relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I can't see myself with that person for a long period of time, if it's just like a physical attraction thing, like, oh, she's hot or whatever. Like, I don't know. I can't even approach, like, even like thinking about like approaching it is like, who, like, I don't care if that makes any sense.
So what else do you look for then?
So like one thing like I've noticed is like I'm really like attracted to kindness. Like if somebody is just like not nice, but like genuinely kind, like will go out of their way to do stuff for others, and like everybody like enjoys spending time around them. Just from their personality, it's just it's kind of like a light almost.
They're a golden egg.
Yeah, that you just want to be around. I take a like, and like you see a lot of people nowadays are kind of like pessimistic or negative a lot of the time, but if you're really positive, like that's something that I appreciate a lot, if that makes any sense.
Being positive is actually something that's underrated.
Yeah.
I think that like thinking positively and being optimistic nowadays has been reduced to...
It's super hard, yeah.
But it's been reduced to like this idea of like, when people think, oh, you got to think positive, they tend to think of like being naive.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just like la 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 la, moving through the world like nothing's... And that's like not what... Being positive is like actively choosing to see the good in things that occur to you.
Yeah.
Even when bad things are happening, it's choosing to find the good in what's happening.
Absolutely.
And like if you can do that, I feel like you perform optimally as a human. And I like the way my friend explained it to me. I know this is a little off topic, but
okay, no, that's fine.
I think this is important. Like, he was explaining to me why like being able to be optimistic is important. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, so imagine there's like a fucking like, imagine you're out in the forest, right? Mm-hmm. And you see like a squirrel in a tree or whatever, and he's just like in a branch, whatever, he's chilling, and you're just watching him, right? And then you see like, you see some wind like move some grass or some shit near him, and it kind of makes a sound,
right?
And the squirrel's gonna like freak the fuck out because he's gonna think there's something there,
right?
He's like, and in that squirrel's mind, his like endorphins are activating. He's not just like freaking out. His like fight or flight response is happening in his body.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there and you're like, this dumbass squirrel, it's just wind. It's harmless, right? You're that squirrel.
Right.
When you're not optimistic, you're that squirrel. So shit happens and you react with anxiety or fear or paranoia.
Right.
Instead of being willing to go, is this real? Like put it in perspective. Is this really that dangerous?
Right.
What's the good? So you can actually, if you're not just undergoing that constant apprehension or stress, you can actually accomplish more things as a person. You can like perform better. Yeah. So I think that's a very important thing to look for.
Oh yeah.
In a relationship, and it would probably encourage you
to be more like that.
Yeah.
That's why I look for it, is because I know that I'm a really, I hate to say it, I'm a really negative person. Like I
don't think you are, man.
I think I am on certain things, like with life.
I don't think you're a negative person, but I wouldn't describe you as like an optimist.
Yeah.
I wouldn't describe myself as an optimist either.
Right. Like I just view myself as somebody who just kind of always...
You're a little more critical, maybe?
Yeah, is always critical or skeptical or something,
sure.
Something like that. Like I always have to think about things, way too long, like an overthinker. But I just really enjoy being around people who are just like, hey, they're just fun to be around, Right. Another thing for me is that you have to have I have to see that she has like compassion. That's another thing. I think it goes hand in hand with the kindness.
Yeah.
But compassion for other people, even when like you don't know anything about them or something like that, where I can see that she thinks about others in like a positive light, or is kind of like a is willing to go away out of her way for people who aren't known to her, if that makes any sense.
Empathy as well.
Yeah, just compassionate and empathetic. Those are two really big important ones for me. Because like I don't know, I just feel like if you're with a person like that like it goes back to communication. When you're communicating, it isn't just like trying to get your point across. It's trying to understand what that other person understands and trying to meet in the middle or trying to see who's really right. If you can take yourself out of your own shoes and put yourself in their shoes, I feel like that works a lot better than somebody who's just trying to be right in an argument, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. And a lot of communication is just one person, like both people wanting to feel like they're being understood or heard.
Yes.
They might not even really believe what they're saying or fighting for. They just want the other person to like hear what they're saying and get it. Right. So I agree that it's like another one. I don't know if this one matters for you, but when you said that you get like when you're an overthinker, I'm an overthinker too. That's why I have this fucking sign. Right. And sometimes it gets me. I've been getting better at it, but sometimes it gets me into analysis paralysis for a little bit. You know, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know the word. Having a partner who like will open doors without hesitation. Yeah, that's like awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm just like, yeah, I need that. I needed you to be like this, like
just do this.
Yeah, so someone who's willing to call me out on shit is like that. I'm so thankful for that. You know,
I feel like that's something that
holds you accountable.
Yeah, somebody who holds you accountable, who is like, who knows you in a, like, I don't know. I feel like that's another thing is why I don't feel like casual dating is all that worth it, is because like these people don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like
it depends on. I mean, dude, honestly, it depends on what happens. It also depends on what the other person is coming into the thing to do, what expectations they have, because they could just be casually dating, but they might still be prospecting for like, is this going to be, and you should do the same thing, I mean, I'm not telling you how to fucking
no, it makes sense,
but like I agree, casual dating can be like a little frustrating because it's not for that, but it's also a nice, like, socially acceptable way to go through very quickly a bunch of people and find someone who you think has that potential.
Yeah, I think that's another problem with like dating these days, like, is that nobody's willing to like take that extra step to be vulnerable,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Because like there's one thing that is like my pet peeve that I hate is that is when people go like, oh, we're just talking, we're not dating, we're just talking, but they're doing things that are, it's, they're going out, every day. They're, going out to eat. It could be even like sleeping together and stuff like that. But they don't want to be emotionally vulnerable enough to say like, oh, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, or whatever.
Yeah, or they're just unsure. I mean, in that situation, they're probably, I'm no psychologist, but they're probably trying to have their personal, physical, affectional needs met. Yeah. And they are afraid to make a commitment. That's why I don't like to force, I don't know how to say this, like eventually I'll just start referring to her as my girlfriend. You get what I'm saying? Like after enough of what you just described, and we're still going strong, and like I see that like it's probably going to keep going. Right. One day I'm just going to start referring to her as my girlfriend.
Yeah, but you
don't go to her and be like, will you be my girlfriend? That's some high school shit, Yeah.
Like, I think there's, I can understand your point of view, but I think I've seen a lot of people being like, well, sure, I slept with this other person. That's because we weren't dating. We were just talking. So, it's, I've been talking to other people and stuff like that. Like, you're not the only one because we're just talking. It's not dating. And like, I feel like it's kind of like a gray area.
Yeah, that's why you have to communicate.
Yeah,
because you don't want to come off as like, that meme about when they text you, "What are we?" Right. You don't want to do that shit. Right. But you do need to be clear. The best advice I ever got was, you don't have to sit there, like, just be clear about your intent. Mm-hmm. Be clear about your intent. Right. Like when it's been going on for weeks, and you want it to become serious, fucking tell her.
Right.
You know, just be like, hey, like, I really like how this is going. I really like you, you know, and I would love to learn more about you. I'm thinking I want to move to the next stage, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And, you know, phrase that however you want, but like, I agree. Like, you need to do that because you got to be fucking clear about what you want. And then it's in the ball's in their court to be like, you know, well, I don't know, or
that makes sense.
Or fuck yeah,
yeah,
or
just
whatever.
being open about it. I just feel like
just
a lot
be
of people,
honest about what you want.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid to do that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been in situations where I've been afraid to do that,
right?
Because I was afraid I was going to push them away. But at the end of the day, if the alternative is just fucking, you know, that shit, that talking shit for who knows how long,
right?
I don't know. I mean,
it's not worth it.
What do you got to do at that point? You have to tell yourself, all right, well, if we're just gonna talk and, you know, she's never gonna like make it serious, then I just gotta cut myself off and make sure I don't get too emotionally attached to her, and then this just is a casual, like, basically a fling, and then we're just, you know, it's like eventually you gotta come to the table and go,
no, I agree
this
with
is
that.
what I want, you know, like,
yeah.
And as long as you're not like pressuring them, and that's why you create that space where they feel like they can just fucking be honest,
right,
and not be judged for being honest.
Yeah, no,
and that takes
makes
like time to cultivate. You know, you have to like condition that. But when you do, yeah, they'll just be honest with you. You know,
that makes total sense. I think I absolutely agree with that. I think yeah, that's just one of the things that I'm really like. If I'm gonna you know, go out with somebody, I just want to skip that step entirely of like the talking phase or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I mean, what else am I, like, why do you think I'm here? Like,
well, okay, but, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you don't you still want a period? This is interesting. Mm-hmm. Don't you still want a period where you're getting to know them, where you're not sure if you're trying to begin investing in a serious relationship? I mean, don't you have to have a set number of experiences with the person to finally go, yeah, I feel like my heart's in the right, like, I feel like I like her, you know, like enough to.
I think that, like, if,
don't you think that's what the talking phase is?
Right.
Know, like,
normally I don't, if I like ask a girl out, like, I know her, if that makes any sense. Like, it's always been,
dude, you never know shit.
Yeah.
You'll find out shit about people.
Well, it's not that I know her completely or whatever. It's that, like, maybe we were, you know, classmates or something like that, and, like, you know, we hung out in school, or you know, it's a friend of a friend, so we've hung out in like the same circles for a while and stuff like that.
But
so
a lot of those situations are situations where you wouldn't be casually dating.
Right.
Nowadays, now that we're fucking adults, if you haven't noticed, it's a lot harder to just meet people. It's not like high school where you're just both in school. You can just talk to them.
Well, it's a little different because you have like work. Because like you can meet people at work, but that's another issue altogether. Right. Because like
that's another interesting topic.
That could be a nightmare.
Sure.
And I don't think I would really.
It depends.
I wouldn't try to date somebody I worked with, because that's messy.
As a policy, I agree with you. But when you have like strong feelings for someone that you work with, and then she tells you that she has strong feelings for you too, right? You gonna hold to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, right? It's tough, and I've been there. That's happened to me, you know. So it's not so easy. But with the whole talking phase thing, sure. If it's a situation where like you already know them, or you've known them for a long time, then that's different. But when most people think of like we're talking or casual dating, we're talking about two strangers basically. Yeah. You know, meeting up, and so you need that phase to like.
I can see that for like that, but you know, normally I haven't really had that to where I just met like a complete stranger and was like, oh hey, you know.
It's a little you know, it's different for sure. Yeah. I prefer to meet a potential partner in a situation like you described. You know? I prefer to be, my ideal way to meet a potential partner is I'm pursuing something that I'm pursuing, and then they are also pursuing a similar thing.
Yeah.
And she just shows up in my life.
Right.
And now we're both just like on this parallel thing, and it's easy. But it doesn't always go that way.
I think that's kind of my policy. I think that all the times that I've had like the best experience with like dating and like or where I felt the deepest about it, it's not when I've been like looking for somebody.
That's right.
It's when it's just happened.
Yeah.
You know? So
I agree.
I think for most people, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but for me at least, it's always better to where it like surprises you, where it's like, oh wow, this person's like really dope. And
I think the optimal. I have a theory that like the optimal strategy is a balance between both, which isn't always the case, by the way. Like, not everything is better when you find the compromise in the middle. Sometimes it's just not as good as A or B. But in this situation, I think it is, because you want to be relaxed about it. You know, you don't want to be spending time going out of your way. Look, this is how I live my life. For anyone listening, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be on your game. I'm not telling you shouldn't be out there looking for women, doing your thing. I'm not going to sit here and say that. Right. But this is what I think. Like, I believe that I don't want to just be out there, you know, playing the game, fucking like, you know, working on my riz, working on my fucking charisma, going to places just to meet women. I don't want to do that. Yeah. And
do you know how many pickup lines you have to memorize, dude? It's
like if I was trying to get a fling, fuck you. If I was trying to get a fling, that's one thing. You know. Yeah. If I was trying to get a fling, you know, whatever. Yeah. But I'm not, you know, and so. But I also think like, if you just sit back with your hands behind your head and just pursue your interests, you might actually not notice a couple of opportunities. I feel like you need to be a little in the middle. You need to be practiced with talking to people like that, and you need to be willing and open and ready for someone like that to show up into your life. Oh yeah. But you don't want to be fucking like watching YouTube tutorials on dating every day, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you want to be. So
never that.
Yeah, just focus on your own fucking life, dude. That's at the end of the day, that's what's gonna make you happy. Like, you know, focus on your shit, and but just keep your eyes open, you know. And if you wanna like have a couple weeks where you just like, you know, get back into the game, fuck it. I mean, whatever, you know. Right. Whatever. But all I gotta say, dating apps are not looking too good right now, man. Oh no, they are not looking too good.
The whole point is to get you to use it more. If dating apps worked, they wouldn't have a business. You know, if everybody found the love of their lives, you know, in like a week or two, there wouldn't be wouldn't be a business.
The crazy thing, besides how obviously skewed they are towards females, which is actually unfortunate, because my buddy told me that he had a friend who they did an experiment together. He was able to use her pictures and create a brand new account, you know, on like Tinder. Right. So he created a brand new account with her photos. He made up a name, whatever. Yeah. And he just wanted to see. It was for like a UX course he took, you know. He wanted to see what it's like for females. Right. When they go on Tinder. Right. Free account. Right. And it's insane. It's insane how skewed it is. You literally are bombarded with like hundreds daily. Yeah. The best way I heard it was for men, it's like looking for water in the desert, and for women, it's like looking for water in the ocean, looking for drinkable water in the ocean. Right. That's how it is. So, you know, but besides the fact that they're fucking obviously skewed, which sucks for women because they got to fucking go through it, and it sucks for dudes. Yeah. It's also like
for opposite reasons.
Yes, for opposite. It's also like, motherfucker, these guys have gotten expensive recently. Some of these things are fucking $40 a month.
I would never.
$40 a month.
What?
Dude, Hinge is $40 a month. Tinder is like $25.
Wait a second.
Premium is like $30.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I actually used the dating app. I think the last time I used one. Fuck.
If you want to filter, dude,
probably in like 2017, dude, 2018. So you can't just like download Twitter and start swiping.
Tinder.
Twitter.
You can.
Tinder.
You can
start swiping.
You can download Tinder. So
Right.
here's how it goes on most things. Tinder is one of the cheaper ones now. By the way, $25 a month, cheaper.
Holy shit.
Cheaper.
What?
That's on the cheap end, dude. So
Bro, they are
let's
fleecing.
talk about other apps. Like if you Match.com.
What do you get?
Match.com, $60 a month.
Yeah, I knew
$60
Match was
a
like
month.
expensive. Like Match and like was it like OkCupid and stuff like
Yeah.
that? The websites,
So
I remember those being
if
expensive.
you want, here's how they get you, dude. Now for a lot of these, you can't even see who liked you without paying.
Really,
Yeah, you can't see who liked you.
unless you like them back.
No. That was the end of my sentence. You can't see who liked you, period, without paying.
How do you talk?
You can't send messages without paying.
Are you
Yes.
are you kidding me?
Yes. Even matches like that.
What the? Wait a second. Even like on Tinder.
No, so Tinder, the way Tinder works
Okay.
is Tinder works the way you said, where you can only see if someone likes you if you matched with them.
Right.
But all the ones where they like are like if girls are like getting on your account and liking you, they're just like blurry. You can't see anything without paying shit.
That's
and if you want to
nuts.
filter by specific advanced filters like height, if that's at all important to you,
Right.
or like different, they have a bunch of filters.
Right.
Costs money. You got to get the premium.
Bro, that is
And
insane.
and they've been getting very, like I said, dude, they're like fucking 25.
Bro, who
40.
the hell is paying $40
A lot.
fucking dollars
A
a
lot.
month for fucking
Dude,
Hinge?
you know they break it up. It's crazy. Like you don't see this anywhere else. When you get like, you're familiar with pricing plans, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's moved over to the subscription model, right?
yeah.
Okay, how many fucking pricing plans? Standard, pro, premium. Do you see? It's like thousands, right?
Yeah.
In dating apps, they don't say monthly anymore. They say weekly.
Ain't no way.
It's $9 a week, bro. $9.03 a week. They literally break it down weekly.
Dog, are you kidding me?
I'm dead ass.
Dog.
They'll be like $40 a month, but then it'll say like
Yeah.
this much weekly, and that's how they do
Bro,
it.
I'm glad I'm not. Like, I'm glad I didn't know that.
So
Like,
that's the problem. That's the
absolutely
problem, dude.
asinine.
I just recently got back into it to just like see what it was like. I knew it was going to be a fucking mistake,
Right.
And honestly, I don't even know. If
What
I'm
do you
ready
get
to
for
date
like
anyway,
$40? Is it just seeing the other person?
You get to use the app how you would expect. You get to message people. You get to see who liked you. So you remember how it used to be like the basic functionalities of the app were free,
Right.
But then if you wanted to like have like a daily super boost type
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
or like that kind of shit, you had to pay for like a
Right.
membership.
Yeah.
That's now those normal functions are like rolled into the same category with the super boost.
That's absolutely
So like
crazy.
for example on Bumble, which I just recently set up, Bumble, you have to if you want to be able to see that people liked you and you want to be able to message people, or you want to set like advanced filters, you have to pay premium. And when you do, then they also give you the one a day like super boost and like the super swipe, I think they call it, which is where like it's not just going I like you, it's like yo I fucking really like you.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's how they do it, bro. They're fucking hella expensive because everyone's using them.
So-
they're huge. They've exploded. Everyone uses them.
I don't know. Well, from like my groups of friends, I don't know that many people who use them.
Yeah, because we're getting older. We're not fucking 20 anymore.
Don't say that.
We're not.
Don't
We're not
do-
fucking 19, 20, 21 anymore.
Don't do that.
People who are
Never that.
Dude, I'm telling you because that's how it works. Like
Don't.
have you seen dating
I'm
app?
still young. What do you mean?
Have you seen dating app ads on like YouTube and shit?
No.
Exactly. I have. I've seen dating app ads on YouTube on YouTube before I even did the shit. When I was in a relationship, I saw that shit. Fucking I've seen it like it's on TikTok. That's what they do. They like know that the younger audiences are on these platforms and they're just connected.
Yeah.
They'll like advertise this shit. Snapchat has like in the like daily feed of Snapchat, there's a section that advertises different dating apps. Like they're all connected. So the ideal audience is like 19 to 22. That's what they're aiming for. So
see.
they're just like it's huge
Because you haven't gone through like you don't know it's bullshit yet.
Yeah, I mean that's when we started fucking using dating apps,
Yeah.
But now it's just like it's used so much at that area, at that age, that for us we're like, I don't know anyone who really uses dating apps that
Bro,
much.
where are they getting fucking $40 a month from a 19-year-old?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I remember.
You mean
I think,
$9 a week?
Yeah, talking about this has kind of made me remember the last time that I used the dating app, and the time that like made me say, okay, I think I've had enough. I don't know if you don't have Facebook, but Facebook had like.
I do have Facebook.
Well,
I have an Instagram too.
I did not know that, but there's a thing on Facebook they added like a few years ago, called Facebook Dating, and
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of the same thing, kind of same deal, but it's on Facebook and it uses your profile and stuff like that. Your profile is already on there, all your pictures are already on there,
So it just utilizes whatever you've already uploaded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's simple, and that's why I was like, I don't really even have to do anything because I already have all my shit on Facebook. So I was like, okay, let me try it out. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever used Facebook Dating. You probably know what I'm talking about, but it is I want to be nice because I don't know these people, but it is like the Walmart of it's like
man.
Walmart at 2 a.m. of dating.
The no service Walmart.
Yes,
where the employees don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's Walmart at like 3:45 at in the middle of the night, or in the morning, and you're going there, and you know that like you're gonna see some scuff shit. Jeez, that was Facebook Dating. It was also like a wasteland. There's like, you could tell that there was not a lot of people on it because every 5 swipes you get like the same person again.
That's just sad.
Yeah, so it was just like, you know what? No, I refuse.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good, and I think that I'll just
when you find like when you get into a situation when you get like a class in college, or like you get a job, or like you do a hobby and this person's there, when like that's when you find a person, you have experiences. You typically will have experiences with that person, and the first thing you learn about that person is what it's like to be with them. Right? Not what their fucking zodiac sign is, what their bio is, what their interests are. You don't learn that shit. So a fucking dating app is like, it's like, imagine if there was like a big ass room, with like 10 people on one side and 10 people on the other side, and they're each in their own cubicles.
Right.
And someone just comes in, they enter the room. What are you doing over there, bro? What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
What are you doing with that mic stand?
Nothing. I'm just me.
Just
Nothing.
do it quick.
Just hanging around.
Oh, okay. I'm watching you, motherfucker. Anyway, it's like they're going into a room, They got 10 people on one side, 10 people on the other side. And imagine if each person's in just like a cubicle. They're going up to the cubicle, and on the cubicle, there's just like a spreadsheet of facts and like pictures about them, And they have to like read that and decide to open the door to even talk to you.
Yeah.
Right? So they're just, and no one can see them. So it's totally anonymous. There's no shame at all in them like being like, nah. So they won't even give you a try, They might actually like you despite you not matching their preferences.
Right.
But like, that's the thing. A lot of, there was like a study that was done for both Tinder and Bumble, and like a lot of girls will actually just filter out 6 foot dudes, 6 foot and up. That's it.
Yeah.
And like,
sorry, short kings.
Fuck it. If you're you could be 5'11" and match you could be her ideal male and be 5'11", and you won't even show up in her feed.
Tough.
So, and that's their choice. Obviously, it's my fucking choice to filter shit too. But you get my point. Like, life doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You don't fucking walk into a room doing a hobby,
whip out your what's it called, just tape measure,
and
like, all right,
you get to know them. So
everyone against the wall.
It's just like a shitty way to like
do it.
Find a partner.
Yeah, it's also kind of shallow, dude.
It's fine if you're just trying to fuck around.
Yeah,
whatever. Who cares?
I've seen I've seen some degenerates in the military.
What do you mean?
Bro,
you're gonna have to be more specific if
bro,
you catch
like
my
people
drift.
people would get the app. It was Tinder at the time. Like Tinder was
Tinder
like the big
fucking
one.
blew up. Yeah.
Tinder was like the only one that I really knew about. So, well, Tinder, and like at the end, like I was like, okay, Bumble, but there's people would download the app and just start swiping. It's a numbers game.
Yep.
It's a numbers game. You'll match with somebody eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna look at the phone while I'm doing it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll match with somebody.
I had a friend who did that.
Yeah, and I just felt kind of scummy even watching that. I was like, dude, like, what's the point?
But that's the problem. That is part of what started contributing to females logging on and getting like 100 matches a day, because
Right.
dudes quickly realized that because it's so disparate between the female and male experience on those apps, they should just swipe, and then if a girl likes them, they like them. You know.
Right.
That's it.
That's kind of how you have to play the game to
Yeah.
get anything.
It's shitty. So
Yeah.
I mean, I knew someone who did that, and that was their strategy. And I mean, it worked for a while, but
Yeah. You're not getting high quality relationships out of it. You're not meeting your your soulmate.
yeah.
from
And then
doing
there's like that shitty feeling you get when like your matches, the number of matches were lower than you expected.
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah.
they're not good matches, or there's also, it's just like it's just
confidence
shitty.
killer, dude.
Yeah, it's just shitty. Like
Yeah.
there's just negative. You know, in Bumble, they have a section in Bumble now. It's called like Get Help, and
Right.
I thought it was like tech support for the app. But you click it, and it's literally like, it's like a compliment boosting thing to help you deal with feeling waves of negativity from not having any
Bro,
matches.
this is not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's in the app.
Right.
In the app,
They know what they're
psychology
doing.
sessions
They know what they're doing
to make
people.
you feel better about how
Yeah.
it's just so shitty. So I don't know. I did it. I honestly did it because I just wanted to like prospect. You know, I was like,
Right.
let me see what this is like. What's the
Yeah.
dating app scene like? And man, I'm sorry, like I can't recommend
Yeah.
it for anybody.
I don't know. I've never met anybody who, or like none of my friends has ever been like, oh, bro, this is, Jeanette. We met off of Tinder. We're getting married in March. So like that's never happened. Like there's never been like somebody who's like had like a serious relationship off of somebody they met off of Tinder or Bumble or whatever.
Yeah, Tinder. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
those apps are for fucking around. You get me?
Yeah.
They're for. So I agree. It's 100%. But you already know my problem, which is that I just need to fucking get out more and
Oh, yeah.
do shit.
That's
because
tough too. It's like
Just chilling at home.
I hate leaving the house. It's like
Yeah, it's been cool. I don't know shit, so I don't know shit
Right.
to do.
right.
So I just have to make like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Make a fucking Google Doc where I just put like, cool things that I might enjoy doing outside the house. Hiking, going to a cafe.
Yeah.
There's only gonna be like 4 things because
Right.
I don't know those things. I've always been a homebody all my life.
This is gonna sound, this is kind of off topic, but pie in the sky, dream of mine has always been to open, like, this is gonna sound totally off topic, but pie in the sky dream of mine is it's always been a dream of mine to open a speakeasy.
Dude,
And be
Same.
and be like
I've always wanted to open like a bar.
right? But like I want it to be like a bar where it's like you have to know like some kind of code or something like that, and it's hidden, and
Right.
like only certain people know how to get in, and it's like a members only kind of thing, and like you can only invite one person, like I don't know, every year or something
like
like
exclusive.
that. Yeah, it's like super exclusive, and like you just walk in, and like I'd be there, I'd be the bartender, and like I'd be wiping down the bar and stuff like that, and be like candlelit and stuff. But I always wanted to do that because it's like a job that you could have where you could like just talk to people and like bullshit and stuff, and like meet all kinds of different people. And like I always thought that like that would be dope to do, like in my 60s or something like that.
I always wanted to
up
open like a fucking
speakeasy.
a nice ass cafe.
Yeah.
Like just a small, really good small menu, but like what they do offer is really high quality.
Right.
Just like a good cafe, and then at night, the basement has like a bar or speakeasy.
That'd be cool.
You just like you walk in, you go downstairs at night, and that's where it is. You know.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be cool. I didn't think about doing the exclusive thing, but yeah, I always thought it would be fun to do that myself. But obviously, I would only do that when I've got like liquid cash to drop on that. Like, I need enough money where if the investment I make into the business is wasted and the business fails, I'm not put out. You know? And I feel like that's like a mistake that a lot of like, especially like the restaurant industry owners make, is that they like
throw
this
everything
is my
into
life.
it.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, I respect, you know, and sometimes it works out if you're fucking good.
Yeah.
But you better hope you know how to run an establishment.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, there's your fucking
life savings,
net worth.
Yeah.
And that's how you get people who end up in debt that they can't recover from.
Yeah.
That's hell, you know? You're basically locked out of like society.
Right.
Because you're so in debt.
But that's like one thing I've always thought about, like, you know, just going to like maybe like working at a bar to like meet people who are like around our, you know, the same age and stuff like that, and like just to, it's like a casual experience. Or like, I don't know, I don't do anything, like I'm not interested in anything, like I'm not a big athletic sports guy, so I don't really go outside to do any. Yeah, even then, it's hard to.
You should get back into hiking, dude.
No, hell no.
You should.
Hell no, dude.
Hiking is not about experiencing physical strain. Hiking is about seeing beautiful things. It's about seeing beautiful nature. That's what it's about.
Right.
You don't have to fucking put on a 60-pound pack and walk for 24 hours. You can be comfortable.
You're triggering me right now.
Dude, there's like really nice trails that are piss easy, dude. They're made for like, no offense, but they're made for like senior people to hike on. Senior people. They're made for senior people to hike on.
Right.
They're not going to be a strain for you.
Right.
Like, there's ways you can. It's just about fucking being outside in like nature. You know, it's refreshing. It's nice to like not be in suburbia.
Oh yeah.
All day, every day. You know.
Right.
And that's coming from someone who just recently went hiking. And man, dude, that shit was awesome. That was so cool. It just refreshes you. It resets your fucking brain. You start to think about like what really matters in your life, and then you get this nice. If you stay out there long enough, you get this nice effect where by the time you get back home, you've been away long enough that like you come back into your life with fresh eyes, and you like look at all your habits objectively, you know, because you don't realize all the things you do every day because you're in it.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's good.
That makes sense, but I'm just not a big.
Travel
walker.
does that too, right? You could just do travel and get the same effect.
I travel. That would be my thing. That would be the one thing that I do that, you know, gets me out of the house and stuff like that. But it's also like kind of expensive, and you know, it can be expensive, and you know, it takes up time, so you have to take off of work. So it's not something you can do like every day or something like that after work.
What do you think about camping?
Fuck no.
What?
Dude.
Dog,
I'm not
you
going.
are just anti. You just don't like nature.
No, I like nature. I like seeing nature. I like seeing cool things. Do I like being out in the middle of the weird wilderness with possibly no cell phone signal if anything goes wrong, where a fucking Wendigo can come and, you know, eat me and then like steal my face? Goes back to my family and then kills them because they think it's me and it's actually a Wendigo.
What the fuck? Do you think this? Because
Look, man. Skinwalker Ranch exists. There's fucking Wendigo out there.
Look, dude.
It's been. Listen, no, you're gonna let me finish. It's like a known thing that Wendigos are very dangerous.
I want y'all to fucking mark this dude's words. What he's saying right now.
Mark my words.
It's a known thing that Wendigos exist.
Y'all go
Oscar 2023.
No, y'all go out and you're camping and in the forest at the middle of the night, and then y'all hear a cry, "Oh, somebody help me!" And it sounds like
doesn't happen.
It sounds like a little girl or something like that, and you rush over to her, and it's like a deer. But it's like a fucked up deer, and it has like a human's face. And then he kills you, and then it steals your face, and it comes back, and it,
Dog,
it takes
did
over
you
your
like
body.
watch a show or
No,
something?
I'm talking about Wendigos.
I know you're talking about Wendigos.
Bro, Wendigos.
I'm just saying, when did this idea pop into your head? Obviously, it didn't pop into your head.
Ever since I've heard about Wendigos.
Heard about?
Yes.
How did you hear about them? Tell me that.
How did I hear about Wendigos?
Yes, when did that
I don't
happen?
know. Why don't you tell me the first time you've ever heard of a ghost, Hershey? Tell me, when was the first time somebody ever mentioned a ghost
So
to
you're
you?
telling me, if I was like you...
When did you ever hear...
I'm about to answer your question.
Yeah.
If I was like you, right? This is what you're telling me. If I was like Oscar, the first time I ever heard about a ghost at all, from then on, from the rest of my life, I'm scared of ghosts. That's you.
That is
Because
not what happened.
You heard about Wendigos once.
No.
You said ever since you heard about them, you've thought this.
Yes.
That's what. Well,
ever
then,
since,
that.
Well, I'll say this. Ever since I found out about a little place in Utah.
Aha. So you did receive some sort of story.
Yes, there
that's
is a
what
story.
I was trying to get to.
Okay, there is a story about Skinwalker Ranch in Utah.
And what is this? Where did you hear this story? Was it from another person?
It was from my friend, my very close friend, Park. We've talked about him on the show before.
Were you sober during this story being
Yes,
told?
we were sober. There's not that much to do in Utah. Sorry, Park. I know you love your mountains and all that.
I don't think that's a particularly hot take.
There's not a lot to do.
It's not exactly known for its experiences.
But Skinwalker Ranch is a place in Utah that the federal government has cordoned off because people would go into there and disappear. And
there's a Netflix series on this.
There is a Netflix series on it.
So you're telling me that because of Skinwalker Ranch, going out and camping anywhere is just as dangerous?
You never know.
Even though
Wendigos could be anybody,
I know,
my dude.
But just think logically. You just used an argument for Skinwalker Ranch, and your argument was that the government has had to quarantine this area.
Yes.
You used that as a supporting fact.
Yes.
But when that, I get it. But when that isn't the case for another area of nature, you don't use it as a reason it might not be dangerous. You see how that doesn't make sense? You don't go, well, the government hasn't quarantined this area, so maybe it's not as dangerous. You just go, oh no, anything in the woods can be just as dangerous.
Look, man. I'm just saying, I don't want to be the one to stumble on the next Skinwalker Ranch. That's all I'm saying.
That's like being afraid of flying from country to country because you're afraid of snakes on the plane, or you're afraid of the fucking
Snakes on a Plane was a movie. It did not happen. It's not real.
Or you're afraid to fly from country to country because you're afraid that the plane's going to crash and you're going to drown in the sea. Like, you have to actually look at even that's more probable than fucking Wendigos. You have to look at the actual probability
Why don't you
of
do
it
some
happening.
more research on Skinwalker Ranch and see how many people walk in and out of Skinwalker Ranch on a daily basis?
Well,
and then you tell me what's more probable.
Look, I'll do some research on Skinwalker Ranch, all right? We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this topic because I would love to be able to go camping with you.
I love
once.
how we started off this episode on dating and relationship advice, and we ended it on Wendigos and Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, you know what we're about to go to, right?
Yes, of course. Everybody, like we've been doing for the past couple weeks now, this is the part of the show where we're going to be talking about the Gambit. The Gambit is basically our journey through, for Nathan, professional wrestling, and my journey through Elden Ring. So with that, I'm going to ask Nathan, how was your experience with professional wrestling?
Okay, well, for anyone who just heard that for the first time, no, I'm not getting into professional wrestling. What he's saying
he is going to get
No, I'm not. No, like, I'm not a wrestler. What he was saying was he likes watching AEW Dynamite, and he wanted someone to watch fucking wrestling with. And I was trying to get him to play Elden Ring, and he said, I'll do it if you watch this. So I have to watch it 2 hours a week at a minimum weekly. And I'm on my second week, and it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I watched over 2 hours of I would say, like, wrestling-related things. The first hour and a half was a match between the Rainmaker and... I thought he was called the Rainmaker.
He is. That's his nickname. Kazuchika Okada. I know you're probably not going to remember that one.
Like I said, the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
And Kenny Omega.
There you go. Yeah.
And it was
That's my
in
boy.
Japan's New Japan's wrestling circuit. I can't remember what it's called.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
And they were
for
wrestling for the
know,
IWGP World Championship belt.
Right. Good.
It was a lot better than the first week where he decided to just put on that day's wrestling episode. It was a lot better. The way that they do it in Japan is a little different. It's a little, and also it was a pay-per-view, so it was like it was like one long fight versus the week before it was like not even like a 15-minute thing, and then like another 15-minute fight, and then like another 20-minute fight, you know, and then some talking. So I didn't have to know all the shit that was going on. I just had a very little context, and then the whole hour and a half was just watching these two people struggle.
What did you think of the match?
I mean,
no, be honest.
I'm still not able to really get past how fake a lot of the stuff is.
Okay.
But I will say in this one, there was way less. There were a lot more hits that seemed realer. Yeah. Definitely. But the way that they were like elbowing each other in the face was so fake, you know?
Right.
And I'm not able to get past that yet. It's also they do. Wrestling is like the world of storytelling cliches. That's what it is. Like, you know, they always snap out of the pin at the last second. It's always it's a best of three, and one guy gets a point, and then the other guy gets a point, and of course it comes down to the last possible minute, and you know, it's very cliche. Of course this happens. That's how it feels watching it. It's like, oh yeah, of course, right? But it was better than the other one I watched. It was at least, I wouldn't describe it as bearable yet, but it was not like, oh my god, you know, it wasn't grating to watch. What was grating to watch, Oscar, was the 35-minute video you made me watch of the shittiest YouTuber I've ever seen in my life, who had terrible fucking audio quality.
Okay.
Fucking used like Windows Movie Maker slides for all his titles. The text cut off the screen. Like the title would come up being like part 2, this part of the video, and the music would play, and then like the music would just cut off and he'd start talking. Like, it was so shittily produced. They're fucking, you know, when you watch a YouTube video and they just use like the template of the like subscribe graphic, you know, like the motion graphic where the hand comes up and clicks the subscribe bell. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was like the shitty one of that was scaled up to be like 35% of the screen. It wasn't even like branded with his channel or like smooth or anything. It just like came up. It's definitely some, like, I could definitely tell that it was a lazily produced YouTube channel, and it was just him like talking about, honestly, and his voice sucked too. Like, he had that weird.
Wow, that seemed a little personal.
Remember when remember when we were watching Fish Tank?
Yeah.
Remember the autistic dude?
Sure.
Remember how he had that weird lisp to his R's?
Right.
That fucking YouTuber had the same thing.
Okay.
So that was grating, and fucking like, dude, come on, dude. If you have that, like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Maybe don't consider a fucking career in narrating. But anyway, so that was shitty to listen to. And then he was like super biased at the end. Like, he was objective. First, we were following the story of CM Punk. Cool dude, cool story, but the way he covered it just didn't do it much justice. And then by the time he got to the end, he was just like he went from like just giving objective like facts, this happened and this happened and this happened, to like giving his opinions.
Okay.
Like, he was like giving his opinions about how what he thinks of AEW and like what he thinks about. And so that was very grating. And I had already watched like an hour and a half.
You didn't like his.
I don't like the
him
package.
Giving opinions.
I don't like the package that he put the story in. I like the story. I like CM Punk's story.
Okay.
It's a cool story, but the package he put it in was very amateur, and it just wasn't. It seemed like he just uploads a video every day, and he spends like $20. He gets some guy on Fiverr to do the fucking editing, and it's just like he just pumps them out. Those YouTube channels are everywhere. So I don't know if that's just because wrestling just like, I don't know if I'm wrong and the quality of like those kinds of YouTube channels covering wrestling just are lower than other genres.
So I'll say it like this. I don't think he had the best quality, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't shit on him for like you know, who knows? Like maybe he had to like all self-learn it and stuff like that. So
That's not an excuse. I had to self-learn everything I did.
Yes,
If you lose the ability to look at something you make and recognize when it isn't up to par yet, you stop improving. So that's no excuse.
Okay.
And you need to be able to be criticized by other people if your shit sucks.
Okay.
You know?
All right, dude.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's life.
Right.
What do you want me to do? Tell him his stuff's great and has no problems?
No, I mean, you can give him notes and stuff, but
Those are my notes.
yeah, but I mean, like his voice, like the lisp in his voice, I didn't even notice until you brought it up.
Bro, he could have literally just hired some dude to do narration of his
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
even that would have been better.
Yeah. I can see your point, but but more importantly, what did you think about, like, you've already said like the story was cool and stuff like that. So the way I'm trying to do this for him is that I'm going to weekly go through like 1 week I'm going to do stuff about like Kenny Omega and the Elite. And the next week I'm going to be doing things about CM Punk, because
I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah, because I think there's going to be a moment where those two worlds are going to collide this summer, and I want him to be ready for it.
I mean, I enjoyed what I watched a lot more than what I saw previously.
Right.
So, and that's not just because it's my second time,
right,
and not my first time. It's because the different promotion material, like the different channel, you know, the different like environment. It was just,
right.
I don't know.
Also, there wasn't like people shitting on it every 45 seconds.
Yeah, we didn't have people in the room were relatively quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but you know, we'll see.
I think one thing that impressed, like, that I noticed is that you had a lot more appreciation for the actual match.
Well, the match was more impressive.
Not the physicality of the match.
It was more impressive.
Right.
They were doing like swan dives and shit, dude.
Yeah.
They were like doing 720s into, you know, and they do it in such a way that it doesn't, you know, kick the other person's jaw off.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, it was relatively acrobatic, and like at least that was interesting, you know. They were doing crazy shit. They were flipping off shit, and, you know, I don't know. I mean, that part was cool. I liked the beginning because in the beginning they rotated. They like had this thing going where it was like choreography in a movie. Like it's like they kept shifting from one hold to another hold, and they would keep alternating who was in an advantageous position in the hold.
Right.
So you're just watching these two wrestlers go through like multiple different, very different holds. Some look like jiu-jitsu, some just look like, you know, generic pro wrestling. Some are like just like a little bit more Street Fighter, like not the game, but like getting in a street fight, like brutal kind of just holds. And they would just move between them. They were like flipping under each other and rotating, and that was just cool because that's just cool.
Right.
The middle of the fight was hella drawn out, but by the end they were so exhausted that like I think it fit the medium better. It wasn't so unbelievable that they were kind of like faking the punches because they were just so tired that like I don't know. So I liked the beginning and the end, you know, a lot more. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
okay. Yeah, but
that's what I think
I'm just glad we're kind of making progress there. You're starting to remember some of the, you know, the names and the storylines and stuff like that, which is impressive. Man. You've made some. This is something I didn't expect, but he's made some references outside of us watching wrestling about wrestling. So I mean, that's
I haven't watched
cool.
any videos about wrestling since, at all. On my own, I haven't watched a single wrestling video on my own.
Yeah. You didn't have to tell me.
But I don't know why I have those references. I think it's like clicking in my memory some stuff. Because like I told you, my stepdad used to watch it a lot. So there's probably a lot of stuff in there from when I was a kid. But
right. Oh, man. You should talk to him about it. That'd be a cool...
Yeah.
Get his thoughts on you finally, you know, getting into it. Maybe he'll give you some pointers or things to look at and stuff like that.
But what was your experience, Oscar?
So my experience playing fucking Elden Ring, it was
you have 2 sessions to.
Yeah, we did a couple sessions. So like last week after we recorded, I think we played some, and then we played today, and so I've beaten. So Nathan, it turns out that Nathan thought I wouldn't get past a certain boss, like the first
Margit.
boss.
It's for those of you who have played, he's like the boss in front of the castle,
Right.
with the staff.
Yeah. He said that would be my Kobayashi Maru. Like I wouldn't get past there. That's where I would quit.
People don't know what Kobayashi Maru is. You're gonna have to explain that.
Oh, I mean, have you never seen Star Trek? The Kobayashi Maru is like a test that is like unbeatable. Like you can't pass it.
I'm gonna be honest. When you said Kobayashi Maru, I thought you were naming another Japanese wrestler.
No.
Kobayashi Maru.
No. The Kobayashi Maru is like a test, and like the whole point of the test is that you're supposed to fail. And
that's how they benchmark it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's like literally impossible to pass, except that one time where James T. Kirk passed it. But yeah. What was?
Well, you were saying that I thought that Margit was going to be that for you.
Yeah,
but you
thought,
beat it.
Yeah, you thought that it was like a wall that I was never going to climb over, and then I think I beat him.
It was on your 10. It was exactly 10 tries.
Yeah, it took me 10 times, and I beat him. And that moment was really great for me because it was like all that doubt that you were putting on me, like you were preying on my downfall. You were like, you're like, oh, he can't do this. I kind of felt like I proved you wrong.
You haven't had a single boss that you couldn't beat the same day that you started trying to fight.
Oh no, yeah,
you will.
Yeah, I never had to stop the session for a boss.
But I think like if you were to compare Dark Souls 1, how it felt fighting those gargoyles.
So
I feel like you have more tools.
I feel like there's more tools, and I feel like this game is a lot more forgiving because I feel like it almost like in Dark Souls 1, like I felt like I took more damage. Like it like the
just in general.
In general, like I took more damage. Like sometimes I'll get hit and like I think like, oh, I'm dead. And like I'll just be like maybe half health, quarter health, or something like that, and I'm like, wow, that didn't
also
screw me
little
over.
Things like
also there wasn't two of him. That was another huge help.
Hope you like gargoyles, buddy.
Yeah.
I hope you like bosses where there's two of them, buddy.
Yeah, I don't.
You know how many bosses there are in Elden Ring?
No clue. I think you said like maybe 13 something.
No, in Elden Ring.
No.
There's 13 in Dark Souls 1 without the DLC.
Okay, so it was Dark Souls 1.
I think it's up close to 100. Let me look it up.
100 real bosses? Like story bosses?
So there are 32 different bosses, but the total number of boss encounters where the health bar shows up is 150. The number of unique bosses is 112. So if you were to just like
only die playing this game.
No. You gotta understand. If you were to remember how I said you haven't gone to these spots on the map and you haven't fought those?
Right.
Those were two boss fights you're probably never gonna do. You gotta realize that number.
I mean, like story. How many bosses do I have to
32
beat to finish the story?
There's like 30-ish main story bosses.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
Honestly, it's only more than double of the.
Honestly, if you were to just speed run, you only have to get all the shard bearers, the dudes who have the great runes, and I think there's only like 6. So you could theoretically just fight 6, but you wouldn't be able to do that because you need to be able to level up between them. So you can fight as many or as little as you want, But my point I was trying to get to was a lot of those are duo bosses, but I don't know. Another small thing is that in Elden Ring, the animation for drinking your Estus flask is like 3 times quicker than in Dark Souls 1.
Oh yeah,
that makes a big fucking difference.
I remember in Dark Souls 1, you had to like stop.
You can't
pull
move.
It out, drink, and then you're just like standing there, and then like, okay, now I gotta continue.
Like, huh? Gulp, bring it down, and then you pick up your weapon and go.
Yeah, but I think that, so I beat him, and then that felt really good. What's the next thing that I did? I went around.
You went through the castle.
No, I messed around in Caelid, got my wand and my staff and like a cool spell, and then I went back to the castle, and I beat the Godric.
Yeah, you beat Godric today.
Yeah, today, and
on
then,
your like second try. Like you
I destroyed
shit.
Godric. It took me 2 tries to beat him, and then I went to
Spirit Ashes, by the way. Summoned Nefeli, by the way.
Yeah, I
just want them to know that.
Yeah, but it was all me.
Yeah, no,
I was coordinating.
Hey, it was all you. Yeah, you were doing administration. Overseeing.
I got in the way that I killed him is that I got a blood proc with a melee weapon. So,
yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything,
bleed proc.
Huh?
Whatever. I don't mean to stop you, but it's called a bleed proc.
Anyway, yeah, a bleed proc with a melee weapon. So I got in there. I was in the.
And then you did the magma worm.
Yeah, the magma worm, which was fucking asinine, dude.
So he did the magma worm in Caelid because he wanted to get the Moonveil Katana. Because I said he should get it.
It's like a laser sword.
I know when people fucking hear this, they're gonna be like, dude, the Moonveil Katana is obviously like a fucking noob weapon. Everyone gets that. Dude, I know everyone gets it, but he's new to these kinds of games, and he wanted like a fucking sorcery, intelligence, dex weapon, and I knew the Moonveil Katana would hook him. You know, it's just anime enough that he'd be like, oh damn, you know. So anyway, you have to kill the magma worm to get it, and you're not supposed to kill that thing until you're, like level 50, 60, and I think you were sitting at like 30 or something, 28 or something.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hard for him.
Yeah, it was. Man,
he got pretty heated.
I hate how that game makes me feel. Like the anger that built up in me. Like,
do you feel any better because you beat him in that session?
Not like it felt good to be done with it. It wasn't even like I was just I wanted the sword, right? I wanted the sword, and it's basically like a task that I had to do to get the sword. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel as good. I think it felt better when I beat the first guy. What's his name? Bombo. Or
Margit.
There it is. Margit. When I beat Margit, that was probably like the top I guess feeling wise, like that felt the best to beat him, because he was also kind of challenging to beat, and it was like a story thing, and like there was cool cutscenes and stuff like that, and it made sense. Like, it was like fair. He didn't have anything that was like I felt like that was cheap. This fucking magma worm, bro. This magma worm had like lava that he would spray out, and he would move towards you, and then he would leave a trail of lava in his wake. So if you moved out of the way, it would just like leave a lake of lava behind him, and if you fell into that lava, you're taking damage. And then he could do that multiple times in a row.
And he would always do it at your current location when he starts it. So
exactly.
You have to predict that he's going to do a second one.
Yes.
And then you also have to be in the right place so that he makes like a triangle.
Right. And it all happens in like this small circular cave, and he'll like back you. He'll like wait till you get into a corner, charge at you with the lava. You'll roll out the way, and if you're not in the lava yet, he'll do it again to where like you only have like one good option, like maybe
in like a corner,
or you roll the other way and you're in the lava from his first time, and then he could do it again after that, and it was just
so here's the reason.
For me, it was just cheap. Like,
here's the reason it's like that. And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Fucking, they reuse bosses in this game a couple times.
Yeah.
And you will fight. I'm not trying to spoil you. You will fight the magma worm later, but when you fight the magma worm later, you fight him in the arena that he was designed in initially, which is like in like a massive flat like magma rock, which is coming down from a massive volcano. So you fight him in this like huge field, and he's just like a volcano enemy, and like it makes sense. That arena was designed for that running shit, because he doesn't reach a wall, he just stops. But then they were like, well, we got to come up with a boss for this Moonveil Katana cave. You know what? Fuck it. Let's put the fucking magma worm in there.
Right.
And so that's why it ends up like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a fault of the game, because they just copied and pasted him into that arena.
Right.
Without making and all those smithing cave arenas are all the same.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, we can't change it to balance him, so we'll just keep it the same, and that's why,
Okay.
But I mean, how are you feeling so far? Are you enjoying it at all? I mean, now you have your build a little bit more,
It's more enjoyable than Dark Souls 1 or any other Dark Souls game that I've played before. But this is still not a game that I would choose to play like on my free time where I want to have fun and enjoy things.
Well, let's see if let's see how that changes.
Yeah, we'll see if it changes. But yeah, that's going to be all for us this week. Thank you for listening in. This has been Two Dudes in a Room, just hanging out and talking about love, life, Wendigos, pro wrestling, and Elden Ring. Join us next week, same time, and we may answer some questions. Make sure you get your questions into the Google form in the description. And just so you're on track with what we're doing, I don't know, subscribe or something. And listen to all of our other videos. We have like a bunch of bangers. Is there anything you want to pitch or plug?
No, just we do this shit every Saturday. Every Saturday, we'll have a new episode up, so just tune in.
Yeah. Also, go watch Ted Lasso. The last season's on right now, and it's pretty good. But other than that, you never know what anybody's going through, so be kind to everybody. And with that, we'll see you later.
Peace.